10 reasons why I left the US for Slovenia. It's been a hot minute since we've checked out Slovenia. We have done them though. Really, really cool country. Kind of took me off guard when I first discovered Slovenia because I had heard of it before, but never really seen it. And then once we dived into it and I learned so much about the country, I was just, I was blown away, like how cool it is, like what you guys have going on there, all the tech, right? Like the ingenuity, and of course the cities looked absolutely beautiful. So we're checking out Life with Aaron Arnold, and he's going to give us some reasons why he picked Slovenia after he left the US, and I'm really curious to see what he's got to say. I feel like we've seen a couple of these videos where Americans give their reasons why they left the US, but I'm hoping that his is more for like why he picked Slovenia, because that's that would set it apart a little bit. Sometimes these Americans, you know, they pick the UK, they go there and they're just upset about what's going on in our country, and they don't really, I feel like sometimes some of them don't really actually care too much about the country they're moving to. They just are really, they hate Donald Trump. That's usually what it is. So, all right, Life with Aaron Arnold. Smash the like button. Let's dive in.
This week, I'm going to tell you why I chose Slovenia.
Oh, he's from Oregon, huh? Oh, no, I just saw Alabama. All right, I don't know.
Can you hear me? This week, I'm going to tell you why I chose Slovenia. Did you start it? So, the first reason...
This has got to be his girlfriend recording. Aaron, tell me if this is your girl that's recording, or maybe we'll find out.
...is that I wanted a smaller city. My decision came down to Budapest in Hungary and Ljubljana here in Slovenia. But Budapest is a bit too big for me. It's also overrun with tourists. And so I wanted a place that was a little smaller, not too small, but somewhere where I didn't feel like I would get lost in the city. So that's the first reason why I chose Ljubljana.
Yeah, Slovenia is like a hidden gem. I have noticed, because I don't hear too much about it, and I don't get too many recommendations for Slovenian videos. But once you actually see it, you're like, oh, this place looks really cool. That's 100% his girl recording.
Point is that I wanted a city that wasn't as touristy. Like I mentioned, I was between Budapest and Ljubljana, but Budapest was a bit too big for me. It's also, I think it has around 30 million tourists a year. And although Ljubljana is growing in the tourist world, it's definitely not as big as a place like Budapest. I think of all the European capital cities that I know, Ljubljana is much more chill and more of a hidden gem, if you will. The term gets tossed around a lot, but I think with Ljubljana, it has to be true. Point number 3, I wanted a more affordable city. Coming from the United States, it's obviously much more expensive than Slovenia. And specifically, I came from Dallas, Texas. And Dallas is about double the price of Ljubljana. And I know Ljubljana is more expensive for Slovenia. So I wanted a more affordable city. I didn't look at cities like Copenhagen or...
Is Ljubljana probably like the most expensive city in Slovenia? I wonder, let's see if we can figure it out. I just think that's pretty funny that like it's half the price of what he would normally pay. It is. Okay, Ljubljana is the most expensive city. Am I saying that right? Ljubljana?
Or Zurich, because I knew the prices were crazy. So I wanted Copenhagen. So I wanted a more affordable city. I didn't look at cities like Copenhagen or Zurich because I knew the prices were crazy. So I wanted to move to a place that was a little bit more friendly on my wallet. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Katie for buying me a coffee via my link below. Buy me a coffee. Cheers, Katie.
Got the backwards hat on. I'm not wearing a hat today. Your guys' comments are hilarious when I wear a hat. They never fail. And some of the hate that I get for it, I'm not going to stop doing it, all right?
I also want to give a shout out to my niece, Madeline, for making me this bracelet for Christmas. Thank you, Madeline. I love you. Point number 5. I wanted a Roman Catholic country. As a Roman Catholic myself, it's very important for me to find a spot where there's going to be a ton of Roman Catholic churches. And here in Slovenia, most of the population is Catholic. I think it's about 75%. But yeah, so I wanted to find a Catholic country. I've been really enjoying going to the Franciscan church here in the center of the city, the big pink church at Prešeren.
Really quick before he gets too far, let me know if you guys, I mean, I know 100% many of you are religious. If you guys want me to check out any like religious videos. I know that there's been kind of like a rise in mainly Christianity and Catholicism across Europe. Well, also quite a few religions. All right, I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't think we've covered a single religion video, so that might be something interesting to check out.
In the center of the city, the big pink church at Prešeren Square, right in the center. I'll show you a picture of the inside. It's pretty amazing. But so that's a really important thing that's close to my heart, and that was a big decision for me, and why I actually crossed off some countries from my list was because of the religious aspect. Point number 6. So when I visited Ljubljana in the fall of 2023. Hey, just want to pop in real quick. Please hit the like button below, subscribe, turn on notification bell, and tune in every Sunday for a new video. Thanks, see ya. I fell in love with the cafe culture along the river. As you visit the city and you walk the main area, you're gonna obviously see the river running through the city, but you're also gonna see the cafes lining the river full of people. It's such an amazing vibe by the river, and especially on the warm days, it's extra nice. There you can enjoy a coffee for 2 or 3 hours, have a nice beer with a friend, and just share some laughs and some good stories. But when I visited, I really pictured myself being in an area like this, reading a book, chatting with a friend, and I really fell in love with the river. Growing up, I was a big outdoorsman.
Okay.
And rivers and bodies of water have always been something that really inspire me and make me feel at home. And so when I visited Ljubljana in the fall of 2023, the center surrounding the cafe culture surrounding the center was just something that I really fell in love with.
It's pretty true. I grew up next to a creek my entire life, right in my front yard. And I live next to a creek. It's not a river, I don't think. It's not big enough, but live a pretty nice big body of water as well. I do love being next to water.
The cafe culture surrounding the center was just something that I really fell in love with. Point number
nice walking.
6.
Like this area.
Point
looks
number
like a nice
6.
area to walk through.
I wanted a traditional environment. So moving across the world, I didn't want to end up in the same environment that I was coming from. In countries like the UK, for example, are eerily similar to the US. So I didn't want to move across the world and find myself in the same environment. So that's why I didn't look at like the Western countries of Europe, and I chose something more central in Slovenia. But you know, on the nice days here and on the weekends especially, you can go to Tivoli Park here in Ljubljana, and you'll see families just all over the park, children running around, and it's just such a nice vibe. I think in some of the Western countries and in parts of the U.S., the family tradition and that part
has been eroded
of society is kind of changing, and so you just don't get that traditional side anymore. And that's something I was really looking for and valuing.
That's why
and I do believe that's here in Slovenia. You might say that it's less than it used to be, but from my opinion, it's way more than I've ever seen. And so, yeah, I really wanted a place that had traditional family values, and that's another reason I chose Slovenia.
Nice.
Point 7. I wanted a country that's centrally located. Slovenia is located between Austria, Hungary, Italy, and Croatia, right here in Central Europe.
Right in the middle.
From Slovenia, or Ljubljana, where I'm stationed, or where I'm located, you can travel to Venice, you can travel to Vienna, or Zagreb in just a short trip. And so I wanted a place that's centrally located. Because I love to travel, this is actually perfect for me. And as many of you know, you can go anywhere in Europe via train, via bus, via plane, or car. And so that's exactly what I wanted, and I think that's exactly what I got here in Slovenia, because I can travel anywhere, and everything's so close. So it's actually perfect.
Makes sense.
But yeah, that is the Sedum point. Point awesome. I love the topography of Slovenia. In Slovenia, you have the sea, you have the Alps, you have lakes, and you have a karst topography, so you have caves. I visited some of those in my time
caves,
here.
Huh?
Growing up, I really love the outdoors. I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about the river. I really love the outdoors, and here in Slovenia, I have the outdoors everywhere. I can visit the mountains, I can go to the caves, the rivers, the lakes. I can do it all, but that's one reason why I love Slovenia and why I chose Slovenia is because of the outdoors. I really do love everything it has to offer because it literally has everything. So Slovenia is centrally located, but it's also centrally located in terms of geography because all the topography you can get, again, the seas, the mountains, the lakes, and the caves.
You can get pretty much
anywhere.
anywhere.
You got it all here in Slovenia. Debate. Point debate. I wanted a country with a strong culture. Slovenia is a country of only 2 million people, and they actually have a very rich culture. I think it's because it's so small. People are really defensive of the language, of the food, and then the music as well. I actually have really enjoyed the food here. As you've seen in the past, I've tried some traditional dishes like portica, strukli, gibanica, jota,
that looks good.
And some other things as well, klobasa. But I really enjoy the Slovenian culture, and I wanted to move to a European country that really had a strong culture. I think a lot of the Western European countries have really lost that culture just due to globalization. As more, people from different countries come in, you kind of have a watered down version of the true culture. And I think that's kind of how America is because it's so diverse.
When was this made? 10 months ago. Okay. Yeah. Changing quite a bit. I feel like everywhere is really like the migration and culture thing it's a hot topic. It is, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. You guys let me know. I feel like a lot of people are talking about it.
And, obviously it's a much younger country. You don't have as much, I guess, true identity. But I wanted to move to a European city that was rich in history and culture. And so that is another reason why I chose Slovenia. Point debate. In the fall of 2017, I visited Copenhagen, Denmark, and Prague in Czechia, and I fell in love with the culture. I returned from that trip, and I traced the same 5 words in my journal. For months, I traced the words, "I will live in Europe," in my journal, and here I am, right? I'm finally living here, but I got to a point last year, was it last year? No, it was 2 years ago, 2023, where I just decided I want a little bit more out of my life. So I was living and working in Dallas, Texas, and as an accountant, and I had been working for a couple years, and I just decided that I wanted more in my life. I didn't want this dream of mine of moving to Europe to be a question mark in the future. And so I decided it was the time for me to move, and yeah.
I gotta know who's behind this camera. Okay, that's it? All right. Oh, we'll skip the bloopers. All right, that was really interesting. I bet he's probably enjoying Slovenia a lot. It seems like a really, really cool country, and I know exactly what he's looking for, and I think he's probably finding it there. So, all right, I'm getting out of here. I'm all finished. So appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.